In tonight's 12 Investigates, a triad man is back behind bars after being mistakenly set free for years.
Judicial officials in High Point call the release a unique situation. Joshua Davis has been digging into what went wrong and why the inmate says the blame falls on the court.
They told me that this should never happen to anybody. That's all they kept telling me.
James Carruthers' story begins in 2012 when he was sentenced to 15 to 20 years in prison after being convicted of robbery and a gun charge in Guilford County.
I went through the appeal process, and on the appeal, about 18 months later, in 2014, they put a sentence in, they vacated the sentence, and when it got back, they misread it, and so in 2019, I was released 10 years earlier than what I was supposed to be.
A mistake he says he tried to warn corrections officials about.
I had to notify my appellate attorney, my trial attorney, the clerk of courts, combined records, prison legal services, and so much more. And I kept letting them know, like, hey, my sentence is wrong. I need y'all to correct this because I'm trying to move on.
Why did you decide to take that step?
I just thought it was the right thing to do.
The mistake gave him 3 years of freedom. In 2022, he was arrested again on a gun charge in Forsyth County. Last November, the court addressed a question that stumped him for years. Why was he released? At a tense hearing, James and his mother waited with bated breath as it was revealed the mistake was made by 2 employees for the Department of Adult Correction, the very section responsible for records and sentence calculations. 12 Investigates also learned those employees are now retired.
I think they should be able to bring them back in for question even though they're retired, because this is where it started from.
So for James, no one will be held directly responsible. The judge pushed officials to make sure this would never happen again. But James and his mother says that's not enough.
I was going to go into court today, and they was going to say, exactly, you had no contributing fault. We did mess up. We take responsibility. And sir, because of that, you are free.
Instead, James was given time served for the 3 years he spent out, but now has to finish up the remainder of the sentence in Guilford County. He wonders what would be different in his life if that mistake wasn't made.
I know that if I would have been let out at a properly time, I would not be in jail right now. You know what I'm saying? I would not be facing this situation right now. And I would be home with my family and my loved ones. So, yeah, it's mixed emotions.
I feel that they need to make me whole. I felt like the buck was been passed to one person to the other.
Great reporting by our Joshua Davis. James says he's already had an attorney file an appeal, and he and his mother won't stop fighting, that is, until he's been set free.
He aims to devote his life to encourage others against crime.